Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today we're unpacking a seemingly mundane three-letter particle that, believe it or not, completely dictates our daily communication. It's a tiny word that you probably use dozens, if not hundreds of times a day without even a second thought. But when you actually stop to analyze it, you quickly realize it's secretly running the show in the English language.
Literally just three letters, O, F, F. Now, let's dive into this. Because despite its microscopic size, this little powerhouse holds an astonishing amount of versatility. We use it to describe everything from our physical location to our technology to our social boundaries and even the state of our groceries.
So here is our roadmap for today's categorization journey. First, we'll look at core meanings and movements. Second, operations, cancellations, and conditions. Third, we'll explore the chameleon, phrasal verbs. And finally, essential English idioms.
All right, kicking things off with Section 1, core meanings and movements. These are the most grounded, literal ways we use this word to navigate the physical world every single day.
It's honestly pretty fascinating how effortlessly this word handles two completely distinct physical concepts. First, you've got distance or departure from a location. You get off the bus, someone walks off, or a bird flies off. But then, it also describes the physical removal of an object from a surface. You take your shoes off, a button comes off your shirt, or you wipe the dust off a table. It perfectly manages both the act of leaving a space and the act of detaching an object.
And this elegantly extends right into our personal actions. The crucial point here is that this sense of separation applies to your habits and destinations just as much as it does to physical objects. You might say, "I'm off now," or "We're off to London tomorrow," to show that you're leaving. But you can just as easily say, "I'm off sugar," "She's off coffee," or "He is off social media." You are completely separating yourself from consuming those things.
Moving right along to Section 2, operations, cancellations, and conditions. Let's look at how this word governs our modern schedules, our electronics, and even the conditions of our environment.
Look at how the meaning evolves here. On one hand, we have literal switches, powering down our modern devices, right? We turn the TV off, the lights are off, my phone is off. They're simply not operating. But then we take that exact same concept of powering down and apply it to abstract things, like time and scheduling. The meeting is off. The match is off because of rain. We've effectively taken an entire event and just wiped it from the calendar, canceling it entirely, just by treating it like a light switch.
And it governs some truly quirky conditions in our daily lives, too. I mean, think about the sheer joy in saying, "I'm off today," or "She has Friday off." You're wonderfully free from work. You're off duty. But contrast that with the utter disappointment of pouring your morning cereal and realizing, uh-oh, the milk is off, meaning it's totally spoiled. We also use it to express when things are incorrect, like, "Your answer is off," or "My watch is 5 minutes off." And of course, everyone's absolute favorite condition, a discount. 20% off, or everything is half off.
Okay, let's get into Section 3, the chameleon, phrasal verbs. We've reached the climax of our explainer. This is where combining this tiny particle with a verb changes the meaning entirely.
This is arguably where the word does its heaviest lifting, because it forms some of the most common and essential phrasal verbs we rely on. When it latches onto a base verb, the particle alters the original word to create entirely new and sometimes really surprising meanings.
Just marvel at this single phrasal verb, take off. Depending entirely on the context, this exact same phrase can mean removing your clothing, as in take your coat off. Or it can mean a massive mechanical machine leaving the runway, the plane took off. And in a totally abstract sense, it means to suddenly become successful. Three completely different concepts, all controlled by one little phrase.
And notice the wildly contradictory nature of the English language here. Go off can mean to explode, to spoil, or to stop liking something. But consider that second point. My alarm went off. We are literally using a word that usually means disconnected or not operating to describe an alarm actively turning on and ringing as loudly as possible. It makes absolutely no logical sense, yet we all understand it perfectly. Let's weave a few of these essentials together just to see them in action. Imagine you're forced to put off a meeting, and ultimately you have to call off the whole project entirely. Well, that might turn off your boss, causing them to lose interest. But if you show off your skills elsewhere, it'll eventually pay off and produce a great result. And if anyone doubts you, just tell them to back off and let you work.
Finally, we arrive at Section 4, Essential English Idioms. Let's explore the highly abstract, cultural flavor this word brings to everyday expressions. Idioms are where language gets colorful, and our tiny particle is right at the center of it all. Take the phrase off the record, meaning unofficially. This elegantly shows how the word helps us express really complex social and professional boundaries instantly, simply by declaring that the information is separated from any official documentation.
This word weaves its way right into our everyday speech. For instance, you might recall a fact off the top of your head without checking. Or you might warn someone that a certain topic is completely off limits. You could describe a situation that only happens off and on, or note that someone's success is absolutely off the charts. But watch how beautifully we can combine these into a little story. Imagine being caught off guard, completely unprepared for a situation. But then, thankfully, you're let off the hook, completely free from the responsibility. Now the stress is gone, and you can tell everyone to get off your back. A full emotional arc brought to you by a 3-letter word.
So let's bring this all together. Just look at the sheer variety we've traveled through today. From physical movement like walking away or taking something removed, to things not working or being canceled entirely. From the freedom of being off work or leaving for a trip, to the warning that the milk is spoiled or a guess is wrong. All the way down to finding a fantastic 30% discount.
So what is the crucial point to take away from this explainer? It's the invisible weight this vocabulary carries. It shapes our spatial awareness, our daily schedules, and our emotional expressions. Which leaves me with one final thought for you. Now that you know exactly how versatile and essential it is, how many times will you use this word today without even noticing? Keep your ears open. It is everywhere. Thanks for joining me.